There was a Hooters waitress that was taken into custody for allegedly dipping hot wings in her vagina on and off her period to rude customers.
Were they sauced? Tell me they were sauced. Like, were they sauced before she put them, like, in the snooze? Before she snooze wiped them?
I would say no.
But, you know, it's almost, whatever. How is that a punishment? What's going on here?
What if she had like a yeast infection? It was like blue cheese dip.
Okay, you eat sourdough bread. You don't have a problem with that at all. That's just yeast floating around in the air. I mean, what are we talking about here? Because that yeast is the yeast that landed on that snatch. Like, right. All of a sudden, that's forbidden yeast. What are we doing here?
Forbidden yeast.
Yeah, no. What's the problem? There are people who would pay extra for that, for a little extra bean dip on the bean dip.
You know, there are people that do, they make their own bread and yogurt out of their own culture.
Yeah, we talked about that a few times. Different things. Yogurt, there was a group of people. Breads, there was a group of, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just yeast. It's the same. I mean, what is the difference between one yeast and another yeast? I think flavor.
Bacteria, but that is yeast.
Yeast, that is the culture. Right. What are we talking about here? It's not sanitary. When you cook it, what's the problem? I don't know, though. It's a Hooters waitress. She's probably cute. You know what I mean?
There's a picture of her. I clicked off of it.
She's a little juicy, probably walking around all day, get sweaty, and
Well, yeah, she's got her little shorts on and shit.
Right.
She's got nice tits.
Right. Oh, come on. What are we talking about here?
Esperanza.
Ooh. God.
No, I don't know what that's name.
Which I wonder if she was doing like a little hex over the back of it there and like trying to eat my inner, you know what I mean, witch type thing. It always involves something that comes from a pussy.
But yeah, because that was like in Midsommar or Midsommar, however you want to fucking pronounce it.
Schmork.
Yeah,
Schmork.
One of the things, if like the Schmork wanted you, she would put her freaking period blood in your drink and she would fucking bake some of her peebs in your food.
Peebs.
He's like,
Pube. Right.
And he's like, whatever, because they keep feeding him drugs.
Sounds like a party to me, really.
It actually looked pretty fun. Like it looked like something that we would do.
Right. We would end up there.
A whole bunch of people. And they're like,
lean right in. I mean, that was the problem.
Grammy.
The ones who didn't lean into the project just weren't. You didn't lean into the project. If you leaned into the project, you would have lived through it and you'd have been fine.
Right.
Like, you would have been just living another existence high on mushrooms, rubbing around in Schmork land.
And just dancing around in like muslin gauzes.
Having weird group breathing orgies and stuff. What are we talking about? On a bunch of psychedelics? Yeah, that'd work out. That'd work out pretty good.
Group sex and inbreeding.
I mean, I could get right into that. I don't think I would have a problem at all. Like, it would seem weird, but I have drugs. I don't know.
A lot of it too.
Right. We're farmers.
They have
too.
like gigantic cooler. Yeah, but then when you're 72, you're like, that's your.
You jump. Yeah.
Die.
Okay. Well, see, you know exactly when you're gonna. You don't have to wonder about anything. You don't have to like have anxiety about when this is going to happen, what's going to go on. No,
you don't have to have anxiety. I would.
I'm going to come of age and just make sure I go head first off of this cliff. I'm not going feet first.
Oh my God. It's like, please do not take your mallets and try to fucking win the teddy bear,
Well, maybe please do take your mallet and win the me. Maybe just that way I know what that's it. Let's end it here.
Yeah, well,
it's my time.
Definitely, of course. Let's end here. But I mean, I'm saying if you jump, I don't want to fucking survive it. That's like on a plane crash.
That's what I'm saying.
As Ron White said, I don't want to limp away from this.
It's gonna have to be one of those things where you're practicing cliff diving as you're growing up.
Oh my God, that gives me the goosebumps.
That way, like you can practice your aligning your body, feeling your body in the air, knowing that you're going head first, right? Just so you could do a nice swan dive right at the end. Splat. Right?
Splat.
Right. Yeah, at least you go down with some kind of style. Something.
Maybe not very good at it, though.
I mean, right at the end, too, the last few months, you just start, like, power bombing the shroomage. I mean, by the end of it, I would have convinced myself that, like, you know what I mean? God, I'd have been totally cool with it. Fine, did fine.
Last week he was Stefan. Today he's stuff on a rock.
Right.
Oh my God.
Wow. And all the breathing orgies that you get to have with the foreigners that you kidnapped and then get to murder with stuff. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, really. It's not bad at all. It could just be the schmore genetics working in our blood, though. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, this doesn't sound too bad. I don't know. We're both Nordic people, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's just some sort of genetic memory for us where we're like, hey, I don't know, seems like a good way to live. It'll be fine.
I like tacos and burritos.